at the Kansas City Chiefs offensive tackle situation, and he is absolutely drooling over the prospects that the Kansas City Chiefs will be starting a rookie at left tackle and a guy that has been maybe a little bit underwhelming and is coming off of an injury at right tackle. One of the things that Jim Harbaugh and these Chargers are going to try to do is get to Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes obviously has been a very large thorn in their side. One thing I think they're going to want to try to do is lock down the receivers and tight ends for a couple seconds at the beginning of each rep, probably by using bump and run coverage, etc., and trying to get an advantage on the offensive tackles for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, this is not revelatory, right? This is going to be one of the big strategies against the Chiefs this season. But I think that if anyone is going to put the pedal to the metal, it will be Harbaugh and these Chargers wanting to put some blood in the water because they get a crack at the Kansas City Chiefs the very first week of the season. And I wanted to take a look at that defensive line for the Chargers to talk a little bit about what I think is going to probably end up happening. Now, the interior defensive line for the Chargers are pretty big guys, but nobody is just massive. You have Deshaun Hand here, who is 6'3.5", 297, or he was coming out of college. 31-inch vert, 9'3" broad jump, decent numbers, 4.8 340-yard dash, 1.7 10-yard split, good numbers. Then you have, oh boy, you have Otito Ogbonia, the defensive tackle out of UCLA, who goes 6'3", basically 6'4", 324. This is more their run stuffer, and you see that when you look at the red side of this graph here. You have a 5'3", 140-yard dash, a 1.85 10-yard split. These are the guys that are mainly going to be contending with Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, and Kingsley Suamataia on the interior of the offensive line for the Kansas City Chiefs. And one thing is they both have very long arms, 34 and 3/8 inches for Otito. And you have, where are we at here? 34 and 3/8 inches for Deshaun Hand as well. Now, these guys, I think, are going to get the majority of the reps for the Chargers at these positions, but they do have other players that will be rotating in. But I don't think that this is necessarily all that compelling to look at from the vantage point of what will the Chargers be mixing up, right? And then we have Tyler Tart. Where am I at here? Pardon me. I have lost myself in my document. There we go. 6'2" and 7/8, basically 6'3", 304 pounds. You've got 33 and 3/4 inch arms and a 9.5-inch hand. No RAS score there for Tart, but these are the guys that'll be in the interior. 3 of those guys on the line. I think they're going to try to shade their defensive tackles, not their nose tackles, inside of the offensive tackles more than outside, because I think they will try to utilize the speed of their edge rushers in that 3-4 set more than the big men against the offensive tackles. So one of the things that I talk about sometimes on the channel is the idea that sometimes there are football guys who don't test well, right? So you've got Nick Bolton, a football guy who does not test well. Sometimes you have guys who have really good testing numbers, and that kind of floats their football career. Maybe Xavier Worthy is going to fit into that category. He's a very fast guy, but I don't know exactly how many stiff arms he's going to throw, etc. I hope he throws 0 stiff arms, because he tried to do that in college and it didn't work for him there. So don't try it at the NFL level, please, Xavier. But rarely is there a guy who is just all-out football player and he has the measurables to go with it? But guys, Khalil Mack is one of those players. 6'2.5", not particularly big. 251, not particularly big. 40-inch vertical, 10-foot 8-inch broad jump, a 4.65 40-yard dash, and a 1.64 10-yard split with a 4.18 short shuttle. And a 7.08 three-cone drill. This is why he has been so effective at getting to the quarterback over the length of his career. And he mixes that with being an absolute football talent. Now, had a bit of a downturn in his career between 2019 and 2022. Going from a guy who was a double-digit sack guy to a guy who was basically averaging 8 sacks per year. That was, of course, until that 2023 season where he jumped back up to 17 sacks and jumped all the way up to 74 tackles. It was just an outstanding year for him. Came back to earth in the 2024 season with only 6 sacks and 39 tackles. Fell all the way down to 6 tackles for loss from 21 the season prior, but quarterback hits did not take that big of a hit. 12 in 2022, 22 in that massive 2023 season, and then just fell to 15 hits on the quarterback for the 2024 season. What this kind of suggests is that maybe Khalil Mack is losing a half step, right? So he's still able to get to the quarterback, but he's not able to finish the whole play, right? You see this on the beginning of a career when a guy is getting his techniques down where he has, this is what happened with George Karlaftis, more hits than sacks, etc. And then that number creeps towards even, where as long as he's getting there, he's getting the sack. And if he gets to be an elite guy, you're going to have a whole lot of sacks and quarterback hits because you're able to affect the play so greatly from the very snap, right? So wherever that quarterback is, you're going to be able to affect him in some way. But seeing Khalil Mack at the tender age of 33 getting 15 quarterback hits, but only 6 quarterback sacks, suggests that maybe he at least for that season, was suffering from a half-step loss to where he could still get to the quarterback, but not finish the sack. And you see that he had 616 snaps that season, about a third less than he had in 2023 for sure. But you're falling down 2/3 in the sacks department. And then we have on the other side Tuli Tuipulotu. 6'3", 266 pounds, 32 and a quarter inch arms. No other measurables there for Tuli. But in his 2 seasons, he had 4.5 sacks as a rookie with 53 tackles, 12 quarterback hits. Followed that up last season in his sophomore campaign in the NFL, 8.5 sacks, 42 tackles, and 17 quarterback hits. All of that while playing 852 snaps as a rookie and 732 snaps last year. This is a guy who is on the field for the Chargers. Now, what do I think happens in this game? I think that the strategy early is going to be Khalil Mack, Joshua Simmons. You are going to figure out if he has the mettle. You're going to figure out if he can, because Khalil Mack knows how to play football. He's not just a big, strong, fast guy. He knows how to play football, use leverage, use angles, use his hands, throw some moves in there. At least change levels, right? So I think that is going to be the strategy up front, is to try to outclass Joshua Simmons in his first NFL action to get to Patrick Mahomes. If that works, he's just going to keep doing it, right? If it doesn't, they're going to try to overwhelm Jawaan Taylor. But I think that they're going, it's the focus of things, I think, is going to be Joshua Simmons, because you can use so many more things to try to get to him than Jawaan Taylor, who you've got the same repertoire of things, right? You've got speed, power, whatever. But Joshua Simmons is going to be in his first NFL action. Has he seen the type of stunts that he will see at the NFL? Has he seen the type of twist that he will see at the NFL level? Will he see anyone like Khalil Mack at any point in the future, right? Those are the things to watch for in this matchup. And if Joshua Simmons, so this is a good thing for us too on the Chiefs side of things, assuming that things don't go too terribly, because it will tell us quite a bit about what it is that the Kansas City Chiefs do have at that left tackle position. Anyway, guys, that is what I think about the Chiefs offensive line versus the Chargers defensive line, etc. If you like or appreciate this sort of thing, hitting a like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Chiefs fans. If you find yourself here by chance but not design, the Chiefs are the only thing I talk about on this channel, dropping multiple videos every single week. So consider hitting the subscribe button to stick around for more. And as always, I hope to have you back for the next one.